We're here with episode number 2 on the area of depression, triggers, and patterns, understanding your lows, spotting emotional triggers. How many people out there understand that they do have emotional triggers, but you're just kind of not sure where to go from there, right? You know you react, you know you have an issue, you just don't know how to pause yet. A lot of times when I see clients will and I understand that not every issue or every argument is going to be the same, but if an issue pops up or an argument, it's really a great idea to kind of pick it apart, mainly on your side, because you are the only one that can change how you respond to the situation. And so, if we look at an argument or an issue we had and we can see how we responded, we could start digging into it and understanding, well, what triggered me? Why would that even trigger me, right? Why would I respond that way? Um, or what thinking error am I using when I respond? Is that an issue? And if it is, how can we start changing that? So these videos are all about that. How do we make micro changes and start understanding where we need to do something different in life and understanding how to do things different so that we can become the healthier version of ourselves. So this video's theme is all about how feelings spark depressive lows. So emotions are spark plugs. Emotions are powerful messengers, but when we're living with depression, certain emotions can feel like spark plugs that ignite a downward spiral. Maybe it's rejection, maybe it's shame, maybe it's loneliness. These feelings can hit hard and pull you deeper into a low. So, in this episode, we'll learn how to spot emotional triggers, not to avoid them forever, because that will not lead to any change, of course, but to recognize when they show up so you can care for yourself differently. And, of course, make the changes that we need to. So, where do we go to get started? Well, what are common emotional triggers in the first place? Some emotions tend to spark depressive dips more than others. Rejection or abandonment means I'm unlovable. Criticism, I'll never be good enough. Conflict, I can't handle this. Loneliness, no one cares about me. And shame, something is wrong with me. Now, a lot of times, these common emotional triggers do come from our childhoods where perhaps we just weren't able to express ourselves emotionally. And that doesn't mean like get to say every emotion on our mind or throw a fit if we wanted to throw a fit. It just means that we weren't taught how to emotionally regulate ourselves and communicate effectively our emotions. And so then when we are adults, we have these issues where we take criticism way too harsh, or somebody says something and we think it's rejection or abandonment, and it really isn't. But we're just stuck in this cycle that we don't understand how to break because we're not aware of what we need to break. And a lot of times we just don't take a pause and really look at the situation and understand that people don't need a response right away. Even if we're face to face, we can say, hey, I need a second. I just need to process what you said. So where do we go from here after we understand common emotional triggers? Well, spotting the first reaction, right? This is again where we do our body scans and our check-ins with ourselves so we know what may happen next. So emotional triggers often show up in small ways before the full spiral. So you have a racing heartbeat, a lump in the throat, an urge to withdraw or shut down, a sudden wave of hopeless thoughts. Catching these early reactions gives you a chance to pause before the emotion takes over. So here's a gentle reminder. My body often feels the trigger before my mind names it. 100% our body reacts before our mind does. And that's why it's really important that if we don't have a good connection with our body and our emotions, we start doing body scans on a daily basis, even when we first wake up during the day. Because when you wake up, you know, am I tired? Am I happy? Am I dreading the day? And then you do a quick body scan. Where am I feeling these? And then we go deeper into why. So where do we go from here after we spot our first reactions? Well, we understand that practice noticing without judgment. So when a trigger hits, instead of saying, I shouldn't feel this way, try, I'm noticing sadness showing up. I'm feeling the sting of rejection right now. This anger feels heavy in my chest. By simply naming the emotion, you reduce its power. You step from inside the storm to watching the storm. And here's an anchor thought for you. Noticing my feelings is a strength, not a weakness. And we all have feelings, no matter who you are. We have them, and it's really important that we start understanding how to regulate them. And so let's recap and wrap up. A step toward clarity. The more you spot your emotional triggers, the less control they have over you. In the next episode, we'll talk about environmental and situational triggers, how things like weather, clutter, or stressors in your daily life can quietly fuel depressive lows. So here's the comment section for you. Comment anything you want on this video, anything about triggers or patterns that you may have, or any other heavy emotion that's going on in your life right now. And if you're not sure on what to comment, here's a question for you. What's one emotional trigger that you have? And if you don't know at the moment, just say, you know what? I'm trying to figure that out. So remember, you don't need to stop having emotions. Emotions are important for us. You just need to start noticing them with compassion instead of judgment. So if this resonated with you at all today, take a breath before you go. Let what you heard settle in. You're not alone on this journey. And of course, you don't have to do it all at once. Micro changes. So if you're feeling like it, get this video a like so other people can find it. Subscribe for new comment every day, every week. And remember, tiny steps, real talk, and honest healing. And if you made it this far, you get to hear about the journals and the children's books I have created. So these journals are hand in hand with these videos, really to just help us boost our healthier lifestyles, our boundaries, right? Awareness of our emotions, perhaps decrease some of our unhealthier stuff that we don't want, and really just be aware of what's going on inside of us. So you have an anxiety journal, you have a self-love, self-discipline, and self-discovery journal, and you have a beach-themed journal. And then you have a children's book where your child gets to learn about bravery, courage, and spark. And then at the end, there's worksheets for them. So they get to discover on their insides what's their own bravery, what's their own courage, and what's their own spark. And this will hopefully help them to start understanding that what we need is inside of us. It is there, and we can do hard things and push through stuff. And then there's a children's workbook that's all about emotions. Just naming emotions, what are their emotions, the intensity of them, and other things as well in the workbook for them. If you made it this far, thank you again for watching this video, and I hope you have a great day.